take my hand. We're off to Never Never Land. Eggs and light. Enter night.
Welcome to Parenting 101. This government-funded program is mandatory for all Canadian citizens. Now, it may seem futile, but rest assured that this program has indeed saved many parent-children relationships. The program is going to run for 2 months, and we will meet every week, 3 times a week. And surprise, surprise, there will be homework. And failure to complete it, and complete it well, will result in you failing this course. You know, at which point you must take this course repeatedly until you pass. But don't worry, 90% of the students pass on their first attempt, and nobody has yet to take this course more than twice. But then again, repeated failure clearly indicates incompetency, and it means that you shouldn't be parents anyway. But don't worry, we're going to have tons and tons of role-playing exercises so that you can really get into the skin of your characters and understand the psyche of the children. Let's take a look at the syllabus, shall we? Now, week 1, we're going to cover feeding. You are what you eat. Week 2 is going to be about communication. How to talk to your child. Talking to them like they are stupid will make them stupid. Week 3 and 4 is going to be about disciplining. Now, you may think that this is a bit of a gray area, but it's not. There is a right way of doing it, and then there's a wrong way of doing it. We'll also be looking at, the importance of tough love, and how to prevent your child from being a spoiled brat, and sticking to your no matter how much they cry and beg. Week 5 and 6 is going to be about parenting case studies. We'll look at different examples of, let's say, emotional blackmail, or threats to their own lives. That's a big one amongst teenagers. Week 7 is going to be about selflessness. How to not live your unfulfilled dreams through your child. And finally, week 8 will conclude with a period of reflection. Are you really ready? You may think that you want a child, but does a child want you?
Sale, sale, chinka, machule, sale, wawa, ma, chickaloo-wink-wa, sale, chickaloo-wink-wa, sale, chickaloo-wink-wa, sale.
The scars on their body will stay in their mind when a child is struck, no matter how hard or how light. Because physical turns psychological. This problem doesn't exist. Ain't no way that it's possible. I've heard the ignorance within our society, realizing look through the walls of all this big piety, to the point where I'm fed up with these children running scared. When I look in their eyes, all I see is the fear. Afraid to go home because of what might happen. Gotta design a system in which they are not frightened. And gotta design a system in which they are not frightened. Gotta design a system. Gotta design a system in which they are not frightened. Because we must make it a global effort to reach out and realize, am I the only one out here affected by the tears in their eyes? Intertwined with the bind, I'm looking through my mind, in the form of a questioning rhyme. Caught between the traction, confused with the actions, I'm gonna pose a question to you and I. What if it was your child, innocent and abused? What if it was your child? What would you do?
All I want to say is that they don't really care about. All I want to say is that they don't really care about. All I want to say is that you don't really care about us.
Double express, go please, Mortgage Bill's presentation. Taxi, Mortgage Bill's presentation. Mortgage Bill's presentation. Mortgage Bill's presentation. Mortgage Bill's presentation. Mortgage Bill's presentation.
Oompa, loompa, doopa-dee-doo. I've got another puzzle for you. Oompa, loompa, doopa-da-dee.
If you are wise, you listen to me.
Dad, do you have a minute?
What the heck is Roughboard doing in Toronto? What? Kate Middleton's waist size is not newsworthy.
Yeah, that's probably why they say it's healthier to not read the news.
Well, it's better than not reading the news at all.
Yeah, listen, I need you to sign this. It's my withdrawal form.
Withdraw from what?
Calculus.
Mom, I know you're busy. I've just got no one else to talk to. Well, today I kind of picked on this kid at school today. Mom, are you even listening to what I'm saying?
Don't you need calculus for your engineering program?
Yeah, about that, it's not quite working out, considering I'm getting a 52 in the course.
52? 52%? How do you expect to get into your program with marks like these?
Well, what do you expect? You're forcing me to make my life what you want it to be, not what I want it to be.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's right. You want to be an artist.
Dad, have you looked into this fine arts?
What's your profession going to be with a fine arts degree?
Gee, I don't know. An artist, maybe?
I know it's bullying and it's wrong and all, but that's why I need your help to organize for this anti-bullying week at school. Do you think it's a good idea?
Well, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Now, come here, look at this. Isn't the color combination in this painting so zen?
Yes, it's lovely.
You can't throw away your potential to be an artist. There's no credibility and you get paid peanuts of anything at all.
Right, I should be like you and spend my entire life working for something I couldn't care less about just because there's money in it. I am not going to become a drone like you.
I will not be spoken to in that tone.
And in what tone shall I speak to until that you'll listen to me?
Listen, I just really think that this will help kids like me who really don't understand what bullying is.
Well, I think you should take some time to really think about this.
I've thought long and hard. I know what I want.
You just don't listen.
You just don't see.
You just don't care!
Well, yes, my little kid always loved to draw and he's always been very good at it too.
Well, yes, he is quite gifted in the arts. I actually wanted to talk to you about something important. If you take a look at this story that Tim wrote last week.
Kids, they just write all over the place.
Yeah, they often do. I actually teach classes on the weekends for dyslexic children, and I really think that Tim would benefit from them.
I'm sorry, you believe my son is dyslexic? Who are you to diagnose my child like that?
Well, I've just observed some patterns in his writing. If you take a look at his story, you'll see that he often flips his P's, B's, and D's.
Yes, but that's common among all young children learning to write.
Yes, but Tim also has
My
trouble.
son is not an idiot.
No, absolutely not. And I say this because when I get a chance to speak to him individually and ask him questions, the answers I receive are brilliant. Tim thinks way beyond his age.
So what's the problem here?
The problem is that during regular school hours, I just don't have enough time to give Tim the attention that he needs. That's why I'm suggesting these classes. I really think that Tim would benefit from them.
This is absolute hogwash. You are wasting my time. It's not like you're a professional.
And any man
Who knows a thing knows he knows not a damn thing at all. I'm just gonna take a minute and let it ride. I'm just gonna take a minute and let it breathe.
Hey! You're so stupid! You can't do anything right! You useless piece of... You will never be anything in life. Why? Why are you so selfish? You are nothing but a curse. I'm starting with the man.
yourself and then make a change.
You gotta get it right while you got the time, because when you close your heart, then you close your mind.
I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways.
Thank you so much. We're YouTubers for Global Awareness, and we'd like to thank you to take time off of your busy lives and come and see us. We also have a booth set up at the back. We're currently fundraising for our Stop Trafficking and Sexual Exploitation of Children campaign. It's an anti-human trafficking campaign. And for that, we're selling fair trade t-shirts with our slogan printed on it for $20. They're made by working women in El Salvador. And we're also selling Pay What You Can bracelets, friendship bracelets created by hand. And thank you so much.
I wonder, we have some time, so I wonder if you could stay up here and just, if we could have a discussion, or if there are people who wanted to ask some questions or make some comments. I mean, I for one know that you wrote this piece called Pieces.
Yes.
Right? And I don't know, I mean, did you, you were aware that it was Child Abuse Prevention Month. I mean, all of that was really about, I don't know how to put it, about the potential for all kinds of things to go wrong between parents and children. How did you do that? Was that just a fluke, or?
Well, we usually begin when we're given a topic. We begin by discussing it and do a lot of research into it to kind of look at all the different forms of child abuse, and then we kind of just talk it through and what we feel is important to cover and how we feel it would be best to cover it effectively.
And so with this one, that was particularly interesting because there's a notion of child abuse being mainly just physical. And so we tried to make that, but it's also different types of abuse, like psychological abuse, or like societal pressures can also be a form of abuse, because like you're really just kind of restricting the people or like the person. And I mean, I'd like to pose that question to you. Like, I mean, how did you guys interpret it?
I thought it was brilliant, really inspirational. I'm really amazed that Victoria is doing fantastic things like that. Honestly, I didn't. So, I mean, I'm really, really pleased to see young adults doing a great job like that. And then I was just wondering, so do you guys perform that in other settings?
Yeah.
Do you have all the sketches as well? Or?
Oh yeah, we perform everywhere for anyone. Like we're given different topics or different themes to work with.
Yes. So in the past, like we recently just came out of a couple of performances actually. One of them was for the Canadian Mental Health Awareness Week. And so they give us the topic, like I mean the conference is centered around mental disabilities and illnesses. So again, like the process is just to kind of research into the topics themselves and figure it out over there, for example. And we also did like performances for the LGBTQ conference, which was at John Fraser across Erin Mills, and Council for the Advancement of Muslim Professionals in Toronto, which was a gala event, I guess, on the difficulties of being an artist in our community, and so what kind of issues do they face. And so it's really just kind of endless, like in this kind of format, because the possibilities. I mean, you could cover any issue just by the format of it, because it's so abstract, and that's what we want to push for. We want to be able to really send a concise message that forces people to think through our performances.
And I understand that you're all from Mississauga, but that some of you are scattered in universities.
Yeah.
So again, it speaks to your passion and commitment to the organization, right? And what your
let's just say, except that it's really such a big part of your life after this long. I mean, we created the organization when we were in like grade 10, I believe. Yeah. So it's been like 5 years now, and so it's really. I mean, how do you walk away with such a thing, right? Like you can't. So, but we've used that to an extent so that we're really just expanding, right? So. We've created a chapter. We have a chapter in Pakistan because sort of like kids over there are kind of frustrated with political instability and everything, so they can channel their energies and their frustration through, something that they can actually to a platform where they can speak, right? And over here, we all go to U of T, the three of us, and we have opened up a chapter in U of T. We have a general meeting coming up, so it's really just expanded over the course of our lives. That's dramatic, but like over the course of our significant periods of life, our teenage years. Yes.
Can you speak a little bit about how it started, like what sort of inspired me, or was there?
Well, I remember, personally from my experience, I remember it was in grade 9 where I kind of started getting into like learning about social issues across around the world, and I remember seeing images of war. I remember this particular one time where I was, I don't know, somewhere in Mississauga, and they had a poster, and it was an image of war, and that really just broke my heart. And you feel so helpless being just, I don't know, 13, 14, and you feel like there's nothing really you can do. So a bunch of other youth kind of felt the same way, including, we all went to the same high school, so including her and him. So we just kind of got together with the help of our founder back there and started it up. And we initially started writing articles for the website, and from that we expanded to theater, and it was just kind of spontaneous.
It's very organic. Like, let's write articles because we want to express how we feel. Let's do theater because
it's fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, it basically started off with YTGA.com. It was a website that we created, and we would just pick any issues that we were passionate about, and that not as in we as a group, but like individually that we are passionate about. Research it, cite it. Everything is researched and posted on the website, and then just push for the website to be more accessible, I guess. And I just want to mention, like, he's kind of neglected right now because he's not in the same group right now. But when we started, he was only he was 9 years old, and he started writing spoken word poetry. So if you go on our YouTube account, search YTGA00, you'll see this little boy doing like doing like spoken word poetry, which will actually just blow your mind, because like issues like child soldiers and third world versus the first world and all that, there's just like really deep issues for him to cover at his age.
And how old are you now?
I'm 16 now.
Wow. Well, you were very powerful with what you did on stage.
Sorry that I messed up.
I absolutely enjoyed the entire thing, and obviously I'm a theater person.
Really?
I just had a question about, in terms of it being collective creation and the way that you go about creating a piece after you've researched and stuff. I'm curious as to how much personal story also might come into your work, and whether that feeds into your process or you work with that outside of it, or how much, if you're comfortable talking about it, will you draw upon your own experiences to put into the piece?
Yeah.
I think we definitely draw upon personal experiences, or just something we've seen amongst our community when the topic is something that we can relate to. Like just recently we did a performance on mental illnesses, and I remember doing this piece about, we called it subway suicide. Often, like, sometimes you hear about people jumping in front of trains to end their life, and it's just, because we commute, so sometimes we hear stories about people getting delayed, and that's something we kind of incorporated into our skit talking about maybe why, is it a mental illness that they're suffering from that they